Right, so I haven't done a video in a couple of days because Sydney has not been well. I was going to do a video the other day. I was going to go out to the park and stuff like that. I started filming for it, but then my window broke, so I'll add that in here. Yeah, look at this. Seriously. What even is that? Look, it's bent. It's gone. It's cracked. Oh my god. Right, so my day has not gone to plan. So after was getting her ready, obviously it's been a nice day, so I've kept the window open and I've been shutting it and opening it, everything like normal. And then yeah, I went to leave. Me and my cousin went to leave, went to shut the window and it snapped. Like the bit of metal bent. I didn't even know that could even happen, so we've had to stay in all day. But it was alright because my cousin stayed with me. She didn't have to, but she did. And we were just waiting so that the window could be fixed because it's like wide open, like as wide as it can be, and it opens so far. So I didn't get up to anything. I couldn't go out, couldn't do anything. So the reason I am so upset right now is because I've taken her to the doctors, and it's just twice now. They've not seen me, and considering her history, it doesn't make any sense to me. So they sent me back and said there was a call. They put me on a callback list, and they've just rang me, but the doctor was so rude. Like, it's not helpful one bit. It's not like it's a cold or something. Like there's actually something wrong with her. I think I get scared. I try not to take her to the doctors because of her history. They always want to send her to the hospital, which I don't want. Because then it's just more aggravation for me and for her, mainly for her. Like, who wants to be prodded and poked with needles? Or just sat there so they can watch her. It's not nice. At this point, I'm just trying to, like, what's the word? See, I can't even think properly. Like, make myself busy, think of stuff to do. Because I've got another 2 hours until I can see the doctor, of which Sydney is just, at the moment, she's in her pram, doing nothing. So these videos are literally me. This is me. I'm going to be very open with it. 1, because probably it helps myself. 2, it'll probably help a lot of other mums that get scared over their babies being sick. Because Sydney's been sick literally from the moment she was born. And like, she's the healthiest little baby ever. But I feel like she has spent most of her life in hospital. Because I want that for her. She was born with sepsis. So we were in hospital for a week then, and then she got better, we left obviously, and then we went back in, and then we come back out, and then we went back in. But every time we've gone in, it's been for long periods of time, and they've been really draining and really hard. For me to hold my own baby down while she gets prodded and poked by needles, and it wasn't like a quick, with babies, their veins ain't fully developed yet. So for them to try and find a vein, they were constantly trying. She was a healthy baby, like plump. So them to try and get a vein, they always found it really hard. It's not nice for adults getting prodded with needles, but imagine a baby and the cries and stuff like that. They made themselves sick because they can't control it or help it. And then when they do get blood, baby's blood clots really quickly, like really quickly. So they've got to be as quick as they can to fill up these stupid little vials. I think why I get so scared about taking to the hospital and why I don't like it is because when we were in hospital for them long periods of time, I was on my own majority of them times and I didn't know what to do. Like, I had people come and visit me and stuff like that and come down and see me, and luckily my nan worked at a hospital, so she would come down and support me and stay with me for as long as she could, which was nice. And then George was obviously out of work, so he had to carry on working, and he couldn't always get the time off and stuff like that. There were some days where I really couldn't like cope. Message him and be like, I need you. Like, I can't watch her like that, what they do to her. There was one day we were in, and we had people, like my whole family at one point were in the hospital room because we got given a large room because we had to stay there for a while, and they were all in there waiting because Sydney had gone down, we'd gone down, me and George had gone down with her, and she had to be in the bed because she had to have like the oxygen next to her, and she had to be monitored and stuff like that, and they had to sedate her, which was really horrible because she was fighting it, so then they had to give her a double dose of whatever it was that was sedating her, just so they could put her in an MRI machine. And if someone knows what an MRI machine, majority of people, it's a massive donut thing, and it is so loud. Like, even when I've had a few of them, I've had loads of them, and they put you in it, and you have to have these headphones because they're so loud that they're damaging. And her little body, obviously they don't have little baby earphones, and she was tiny. She wasn't as big as what she was now. Obviously she was only like 2 months old, 3 months old, if that. And they had to put these stupid headphones on her. But it infuriated me so much because the doctors were being all so fiddly, and I was thinking, right, well, she's clearly in a state anyway. You've sedated her, you've given her double doses, just stick the things on her. She's sedated. If you're going to leave it any longer, she's going to wake up. So I took the stuff out of their hands, I shoved the things in her ear. They give like little earplugs in, and they kept putting her in her ear really gently, but not like firm enough, so they kept popping back out. And then they were trying to sellotape it to her ear, and then put the headphones on top, but being really fiddy with it. So I literally took the stuff from them. I was getting so annoyed and I was getting so stressed because I knew it isn't horrible for her, and I wanted her to be awake and get over and done with. I literally took the stuff off them, put the earplugs in her ears, sellotaped it in place, and then put the headphones in. And the whole time she was in the machine, it was so loud. I had my own headphones on, and behind me I had the heart rate monitor on that I had to watch. I had the nurse watching me from this side and watching the heart rate thing. And then we were waiting because it takes about 45 minutes in that machine. And then she come out, and she was asleep for the whole day. And then eventually when she did start waking up, she didn't eat. She wasn't eating. So then they were like, right, well, Courtney, if she's not going to eat, we're going to have to put a tube down her and everything. That was the first time she had a tube. I didn't know what it was like. That was horrible. So literally the tube was in, and they had to then feed her through it because that was the only way. And then she just went back to sleep. She was fully sedated, like the medicine hadn't worn off at all. And then when the medicine did wear off the next day, she was so disorientated and stressed, and they had to do a brain scan on her to make sure that all of her, like, I don't know, neurological side of it was alright. But that was horrible to watch as well because I think there was like different electrodes that they had to put on her head, and her baby's head is only small, and they literally were pressing down her head, and her baby's skull's still like jelly, and you could see her skull moving in because of how hard they were pressing on her head. And then they put the cap over it, and I had to sit with her in my lap while she had it so she didn't pull any of the wires and stuff like that. And I timed it so that she was hopefully asleep through it. And then when they had to take the thing off, it was put on with like some wax stuff, but as they took it off, it got caught in the netting and stuff like that, like the cap. It was like a fishnet cap, and then as they took it off, it ripped her hair out a bit, and so she had little bald patches. All that stuff that she went through though, she was actually pretty good with it. Some, like, majority, like, really good with it, like, the whole time, to be honest. Like, there was sometimes she would have blood tests and she wouldn't even cry. Like, that's how much she got used to it. So when I first realised that she was having, like, it was a little while into the hospital because she was in the hospital because she was having like these vacant seizure type things. So she'd go very unresponsive and blue, and you couldn't wake her up from it. And when I took her in, they obviously did the normal tests, and then I got admitted. When I actually got admitted though, the woman was like, right, do you want to follow me up? Like, we've got you a room. So I was like, yeah, sure. I had Sydney in the pram, and she was obviously little then, so she was still in the carry cot bit, so you could easily grab her out of it if you needed to. And we were going up in the lift, and the nurse was watching her and stuff like that, and then I was watching her, and I went, because I could tell when she was gonna go into it, and then I was like, no, and then the nurse knew anyway, so she was trying to get Sydney's attention, and then she literally just picked Sydney up, and she looked back at me as if to say, I said, just run. I said, run, and she ran all the way to the children's wards, and I was following her behind her, like running with the pram, and she pressed the alarm, and literally she didn't even press the alarm because we weren't even in the room yet. We didn't even know what room. We knew we had a room, but we didn't know what room we were going to be in, and it was one right at the end. So she was like, baby Sydney, and they all ran, like all of them ran into the room. I stayed out so they could get in first, and immediately they just started doing things on her, and she stopped, and then they were like, right, they changed the room right next to where the reception was so they could watch her and her heart machine and stuff like that. So that wasn't very nice either. And then the whole time her heart kept going like up and down, so the alarm kept going off, which was so annoying because they couldn't do anything. Every time the alarm come off, they'd come in and then they'd have to go away. And then even like they know who she is to this day because of how much stuff they had to do to her and stuff like that. Because sometimes not now so much because now I've moved, I'm at a different hospital, and but if I ever go to that hospital and go up to that ward, they're like, oh, Sydney, and I'm sure I've seen you before and stuff. So I'm hoping today that when I go to the doctors, it's literally nothing. That's what I'm hoping, that it's nothing, because I think it's hard as well because she's not a cryy baby. Like I've said before, she does not cry for anything, only when she's not well, and that's only just been recently. And if she's not well, it's only like a little whinge because she wants to be picked up and cuddled, and then she stops. Like that's what a baby should like. If a baby's being comforted and stops crying, then it's fine. Then that's when you know that it's just a little sick thing. That's what I've heard anyway. And she's teething really bad at the moment, like really, really bad. Like that's not helping whatever it is that she's got, because I don't know what she's got. But every time I touch her, she's crying. Every time she moves, she starts crying. But as if the cry is not a normal cry. The cry is if like someone's broken her leg and there's like pulling her about, or like breaking her arm. It's just it's not good. It's horrible, and it's so draining. Like that cry, and you can't do anything about it. And like you pick her up to comfort her, and she's not getting comforted by it. So we'll just have to see. I feel like I get annoyed as well because I feel like when I do take her to the doctors, they look at her history and they immediately like, well, I think it's best that you go to the hospital. It's like, but why can't you just treat her like any other child? Why is it you take one look at her history and you assume that she needs to go to the hospital? Like, I've come to see you instead. Like, just like a normal, like, okay, well, it is just the teething and she's just struggling with it, but then help me with it. Like, what should I do? Because I've tried everything. I have tried everything and nothing's working. She's not holding down any food either. Her appetite's completely gone, and she's just, her balance is completely off. Like, and that, I don't know whether that's normal. Like she'll be caught and she just keeps falling over. That's not normal to me. Her skin is very pasty and mottled, so she's cold. She's always cold, like and like she's not sleeping, as in like during the day. Like as soon as you try and calm her down from where she's been screaming and crying because something is wrong. Like, she sounds like she's in pain. She's fighting it, and you can tell she's tired because of the bags underneath her eyes. And like, she's gone through nearly a full bottle of Calpol. I think it's a full bottle anyway, in the past week. I don't think a baby should be going through that much. I don't know, it's just I don't think she should be having that much. And it's not working either. So like, when she gets settled down for bed, we'll calm her down so she's nice and calm. I'll try and make her sleepy in my arms, because if I try and put her down straight away when she's in that mood anyway, and she's obviously something's wrong, she just gets in a right state. But I mean, she's doing it anyway regardless of what I do. Throughout the night she's just screaming. Like, last night was weird. We were laying down in our room watching TV, and I just heard she didn't even give me any sign that she was gonna start, almost, or like I didn't know that she was gonna do anything, and she literally just screamed, like yelped as if like something, I don't know. And I literally shot up straight out of bed, and she's just sitting there crying. And you can tell she's in discomfort as well, because she's sitting there and she's like rubbing her head and getting stressed and pulling her hair. It's just not good. So it'll be interesting to know what the doctors say, or whether I just end up in the hospital again. Let's be honest, So we're back from the doctors, and literally all she said was that Sydney couldn't tell her what was hurting her. So I've just got to wait for a couple of days, and if she carries on still giving signs that she's in pain, then I've got to go back. So she can't tell if it's her arms or her legs or if it's a stomach thing. I've just got to carry on giving her Calpol. She said if I want a longer night's sleep, then use Nurofen. So I am now in bed. Thank you for watching. If you've got any questions, just ask me, because yeah, I don't mind. And yeah, hopefully I'll have some more videos soon.